Basement Bookers Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Basement Bookers Podcast. This week, we're going to do a review on Saturday night's main event and the Money in the Bank qualifiers, and maybe talking about what could possibly happen on the Money in the Bank, maybe, and whatever else comes up. I'm Basement Chair. Welcome. This is a wrestling podcast. This is Rich the Riz, the most rizzest, baldest man. He's currently the champion of the basement. This is for prediction championships. Saturday night's main event was not that. We just watched it, and we're going to talk about that. If you're still here, please feel free to like and subscribe to our channel. We're looking to grow. We've been around for a lot of years, and I guess we just don't ask. So if you could please, if you want to be, we're really trying to hit 103 subscribers. That's the goal this week. That could be you. But nonetheless, let's continue.
That's right.
Yeah.
Talking about Saturday night's main event. We just watched it last night. Had fun chilling. Me, you, the crew, pizza, just like old school. It was a good time. And I can't wait to talk about it and talk about Money in the Bank coming up.
That's right. I wasn't ready because I thought I had them, but I don't. But, we're just going to talk about it. You guys can, you know what it looks like when two people, they square off in the squared circle. And you know what the images look like. So
They engage in fisticuffs.
let's start with the first match. And I'm going to include the duration of said matches, and that'll probably fall into what a lot of people are talking about. A lot of people feel that, there's a lot of commercials. And I've said this for some time, just that ours don't go viral. So we're just going to talk about that. Let me take this one out for a second. This way there's no echoing from that side because it's right by the microphone. I'm having a rough time here. Okay, so we're going to have... first, there was a United States Championship match. No, it wasn't. But the first match was Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker versus CM Punk and Sami Zayn.
Yep.
Normally the graphic would be here, but I don't have it. But you know what they all look like. Look, so the match was 13 minutes and 10 seconds. Mm-hmm. Okay. Obviously, Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, they won the match with a little help from their friend. Let's set... Yeah.
No, go ahead. Finish.
Let's set the table. There's been many a time, and I've been asked the one time I was asked about Bronson Reed, I was asked, when is he coming back? And I wish that I was prepared with that for you guys. I'm sorry, but it happened. I don't remember which Monday Night Raw live that we watched. I think maybe my mother asked about him. And
I think so.
I said, she's like, when is he coming back? And I said, it's gonna, I'm gonna be having the best time. Gonna be having the best time of your life. Everything's gonna be going great. Mm-hmm. And then Bronson Reed's gonna come back, and he's gonna ruin everything for you. That was the case yesterday. Yep. I don't go outside a lot because I don't like being around people. And I went to my friend's house, this guy, and then he happened to show up. Bronson Reed. Mind you, I'm already filled with like at least 4 slices of pizza at this time, which is good for me, and ice cream. And then came this Twitter diva or ex-diva, as you want to call it, Bronson Reed. And I should have known. I should have known his return was imminent because he shut the fuck up. There was no sign from him on social media. Never has there been a more thirsty. That's a guy who needs a tsunami of water, a tsunami of attention with the thirst that he's had, and it's annoying. And this is somebody who's asking for that 103rd subscriber. I would know. And this guy, Bronson Reed, was fucking thirsty. But here he is. He's back. He's a part of the team. Formerly, he was in Bloodline War Games against Paul Heyman's team. And now he's on Paul Heyman's team. I don't know if this was calculated or it was a surprise. And I'll leave this to you.
Certainly seemed like it was a surprise to Braun Breaker. It was a surprise to me. Like you said, just when we're minding our own business, having a good time, all of a sudden, boom, tsunami. I wasn't expecting it, didn't want it. I would really like to hear the story of how Seth and Bronson Reed mended those fences, because Bronson Reed literally used Seth to make himself famous. He went out there that one time. He was supposed to hit a tsunami, and he heard the fans chant one more time repeatedly. Right, like after each one, they kept chanting it, and he took it upon himself to hit 6 tsunamis on that man. I need to know why Seth Rollins doesn't have a problem with him. I'm going to speculate here. I'm going to say it probably has something to do with having the guts to go into business for yourself, to pick who you feel is the top guy, attack him, completely lay him out, incapacitated, and just walk away. That's the only logical thing I could see making sense here. Obviously, like I said, Braun Breaker had no idea. I don't know if this was a Heyman thing, but Seth definitely, clearly knew. And like you said, we last saw him in War Games. He broke his foot or his toe, hitting a tsunami from the top of the cage, which is nuts in and of itself. The fact that all he injured was his foot was a great thing for him, because that's tall. Like, you don't even really have to leave your feet that far to hurt yourself severely. Look at Zoe Stark. Which, by the way, Zoe Stark, get well soon. That was rough. That was a rough one to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bronson Reed came out and ruined our good time.
That's right. Well, I think personally, Seth Rollins has been known to do unusual things. So there's a Survivor Series where he's all like, for the greater good, allowing himself to basically be murdered on TV and then eliminated from the match. Like, he just got on his knees and just took it. And that didn't make any sense. So for this, it's like, the enemy of myself is my friend or something. And, it's pro wrestling. And if Seth Rollins is trying to, like, build something, like he's trying to build a future, then you need to, sometimes you need to cull. And you need somebody who's willing to do that. Somebody who's willing to climb on top of a rope and jump on top of you repeatedly. Preferably fat. They preferably have to be a wide man. A wide man. Because that's what Bronson Reed is. He's wide Bronson Reed. He's not that big. I say that because he's not here. So take that for what you want.
As a short person, I can confirm Bronson Reed is short for a wrestler.
There you go. And I don't care if he's short. I've gotten over that. It doesn't bother me if someone's short or tall. There's nothing he can do about that. But the announcers can shut the fuck up and talk about how big he is. He's more wide than he is big. But I guess big means a lot of things. Maybe his bones are big. You know, his knees are big. You know, things are big. I need specificity. Not TMI though,
Yeah,
but
I was gonna say.
specificity.
I was gonna say if they get specific on you, and then you're like, listen, I didn't need to know all that. Like who
They
was
would
it?
never do that on TV. They're cowards. They just barely do what they do now.
What about Ellsworth? Danielson calling him Big Hog.
That was out of my memory, but it's still in yours, so it must have meant something. I'm not anybody to judge about that. What happens here? I guess it's gonna. Well, and here's another thing. It's that you mentioned 6 tsunamis, and you need to remember Seth Rollins hates CM Punk.
Mhm.
And there's things that happen to you that you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. Seth Rollins hates CM Punk so much, he wishes the pain that was inflicted on him by Bronson Reed on CM Punk. Okay, so that's another thing. And that's why he wants him to go after him. Maybe he thinks that Bronson Reed almost ended his career. And he would love for him, especially since he thinks canonically that CM Punk is a weak man. Or is that Drew McIntyre? But it doesn't matter. I just think the timing is pretty bad. I think the better person for that spot would have been Drew McIntyre, if I'm being honest. But, you know, if you want to use Bronson Reed, that's what we got. You know, Drew McIntyre has been written off TV. So,
Yeah,
we'll
we're
talk about
definitely gonna
that
get to
later.
that later. But yeah, the timing, like I agree. Drew would have been really good in that spot as well. Uh, I really think better than Bronson Reed. But if they go that route that you suggest, where Seth says that he hates Punk so much he wants him to feel what he felt when Bronson hit those 6 tsunamis, I'd accept that. I would accept that. That's a direction I didn't think of, and I like it.
All right. Well, that's a good spot to move on to match 2. So this was a 5 minute, 10 seconds match.
Mm-hmm.
For the record, this match was not announced until Friday. Up until then, there was no women's match on the Saturday night's main event card.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that was intentional or it's Triple H being too online. And I'll elaborate because I feel like the IWC, that's the Internet Wrestling Community,
Hey, that's us.
they have, there's a monkey's paw.
Mm.
Okay? You need to understand the monkey's paw. If you make a wish and it curls that fucked up finger, you're going to get what you want. But you need to be careful what you wish for.
Mm-hmm.
Because you guys, you're out there screaming because you don't care really. Not like really deep down, maybe there's 10% of you who are genuinely concerned that there are no women's matches on a card. Like it just has to be there. And I'm tired of this checkbox bullshit. If it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make sense for the card, if there's no room, which to me, there fucking wasn't, okay? Let me tell you why, because we're going to go through at the end. So stay tuned to that. We're going to go through every match. There's a reason I've been mentioning how long those matches are. Because there's a contingent of the same people who probably used that monkey's paw complaining about the commercials
Mm-hmm.
and the ratio of wrestling to commercial. And I've got that here. I've done the research. Okay? We'll talk about that. So
Can I add to your point real quick?
yeah,
It's something that's a detriment because people want like they want to see like they want diversity on the card. They need a women's match on the card. Okay, so you go from not having a women's match to shoehorning a women's match in. By the way, we've seen this match. I don't even know how many times, and now maybe Chelsea might be out. Who even knows? Because she clearly has a broken nose, and I certainly didn't mean that to rhyme. But what here we are. And you go from not having a women's match, you shoehorn a match in, it doesn't get the proper time, and they get rushed. They rush to the finish, and Vega botches, and then hits it again in another kind of weird way, kind of just kicking her in the face, breaking her nose. And it's either no women's matches or you have the token women's match.
yeah.
What's really worse here? It's like,
So
do we just like say, okay, there aren't any women's matches on the card, or it's like, oh, these two again?
yeah.
Like we
So
gotta figure out, you gotta make it work. This didn't work.
yeah, I have the clip. The sound is off because of copyright.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna show what happened, what may have broken Chelsea's nose. So this is supposed to be like a 619. This
Hmm.
is catching it as she's about to go do it. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna see if I can actually slow it down. Yeah, I can. Maybe
Yeah.
0.5. You know what? I'm gonna go the slowest because it's a short clip, 6
Okay.
seconds. All right, so we'll hit play here.
Hmm.
So she's going for the 619, right? So
Her knee
here,
hits the rope, so she doesn't get
yeah,
all the way around.
right. And then looks like she's like stuck kinda a little bit.
Hmm.
And then here comes the foot. She just kicks her right in the bridge of the nose.
Hmm.
And there goes Chelsea. She goes down. Did you get all of that?
Yep.
All right. So let's get this out of here fast.
She tried to fix it and made it worse.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that. Of course, this is, quarterbacking from here. So who knows? She might not be out. It could be like she could have
The
the
clear
mask
mask.
again. I think she's done that before. I feel like that's something she might have done, or I'm just confusing her with JC Jane. But I thought
Uh,
something happened at Chelsea where she had that happen.
Katana
I
Chance
couldn't.
also had it before her release.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually check.
It could have been. But let's hope she can still compete. Um, because she's funny, and worst case she'll be on TV. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
She's good content.
she works really hard.
Hmm.
All right, it'll come up later. I don't know what's going on. All right,
Yeah.
so let's move on. Obviously, Zelina Vega won. I don't think Zelina Vega is going to be the champion for that long. I think they gave her a chance because, again, they grabbed that monkey's paw. They're out there screaming, push Zelina this and push Zelina that.
Hmm.
And she wants to try, give it her best shot. I think if you spent more time, less time cosplaying, more time, I don't know, doing the things you're supposed to do. I don't know. That's why I'm not a wrestler.
Mm.
Obviously, there's a disconnect because it's quiet
Yeah.
when she comes out.
The live crowds are not responding to her. The internet loves her, but the people on the internet that are screaming, "We want more Zelina Vega," buy a ticket. You got to let them know in the arena. Otherwise, she's not gonna stay at the level she's at.
Well, the problem is that you made a mistake here. And the big mistake is that you made her a babyface. She's not. She can't be. She's especially she's alone as the United States champion. She doesn't have a heater. She's just by herself. She's super beatable.
Mm-hmm.
Heels, she's like, she should be cheating. There should be just constant cheating. And it's like, man, she always getting away with this. Like, how is this possible?
Mm-hmm.
That's what she needs to be doing. It's just not believable. She was great in NXT as a heel manager. And then
Mm-hmm.
somehow along the way, outside of like rare heel turns, where I think when she was Queen Zelina for like 5 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
she was a heel, and then nothing, and she's just a baby face mark for Rey Mysterio. She should be lying, cheating, and stealing.
Yeah, you're
You
basically
know,
talking about the entire LWO at this point. They're all just babyface marks for him.
I
Like
don't
they,
think she's in there anymore since they separated them. But I
I
see what
guess
you
not.
mean.
But like she could still be representing the LWO even though they're on
But they
different
don't say
shows.
that when she comes out.
No.
She's like, I need, yeah.
That faction needs a shakeup. They're doing something with Legato. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if I like it so far. But they're doing something like this Umberto. He drank the wine before everyone else did. You saw that?
Yeah,
That was the whole thing.
this is just for Worlds Collide.
Mm-hmm.
This I call this an AEW storyline. It's just they're gonna do something for like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they're probably gonna kick Humberto out and like replace him with somebody else. You know,
Probably not Vikingo because I think he's got to come in as a face.
yeah, it's gonna be somebody we're not gonna know, but there's gonna be some shenanigans
Oh.
with that AAA
Um.
thing. Something going on there. What?
I don't know. I had an idea, but for Del Rio, because allegedly isn't he coming back?
He's not. There's no way they're gonna take him. If they're entertaining talking to Soraya, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and if you can't have Brock Lesnar for something he allegedly did
Mm-hmm.
that we don't know for sure 100%. You can't have him on, but you can have Del Rio, who's confirmed to do shitty things. Then I'm sorry, you got no case here. It's hypocrisy at its finest. This is a publicly traded company, isn't it? Isn't that what TKO is? Isn't it dependent on shares and stuff?
Yeah. Absolutely. There is a lot of that. I think.
And for
Uh.
Del Rio, it's not worth it.
What's he doing? He wasn't he running one of the companies down in Mexico?
No, he was in AAA.
Oh. Oh yeah.
That's why there's this whole thing because they WWE bought them, and
Okay.
then like,
Well.
oh, does that mean he'll come back? It's like, well, I don't know. Maybe they just because they bought it, they have his contract technically. You get whatever's there. It's not like you can be
Mm.
like, all right, we'll take it, but throw out the blue crayon. You know what I mean? It's not. I don't know what I'm trying to say by this.
So all right. So when WWE bought WCW, right? But
Yeah,
not all the contracts were owned by WCW. A bunch of them were owned by Time Warner, and they still had time, and those contracts didn't carry over. Like Sting, Goldberg, for instance, Nash, Hall. Those contracts were owned by Time Warner, not WCW. So when WCW sold, those contracts stayed with Time Warner. They didn't come over. So basically, WWE has a contract. They're not going to use them. That's probably what's going to happen.
yeah. Hopefully, like there's no need. Like he's not all that impressive. There's nothing that Escobar can't do that Del Rio can. You know what I mean? There's just
Yeah,
no.
I think Escobar overall is a better character. Just main roster, he's not. I feel like what he's doing isn't landing with a lot of people.
Well, that's
It's
not his fault. He's not being put I'm sorry to cut you off, but he's not
No, it's
being
okay.
put in angles against like big stars.
It's true. He like
You know,
he's just trying to get the Garzas over.
exactly, and that's kind of a waste. I don't think they understand. There's a lot of people they don't really know how to use. Like I said, Zelina Vega is being misused. She should be a heel.
Hmm.
You know, she should have turned heel after the split from the NWO. I mean LWO. She should have been a heel. She should. This isn't working, obviously.
Hmm.
So, but I think we spent a lot of time on that. Are we ready to talk about
We spent
John
more
Cena?
time than like this match and the next match combined.
Yeah, because there's exactly even the length. So let's because we'll go back to Rollins and them that because that's connective tissue to later for Money in the Bank qualifiers. So
Hmm.
next is John Cena versus Ron Cena singles match, non-title, shorter than the women's match by a minute. So it's 4 minutes and 25 seconds
Hmm.
for John Cena versus Ron Cena.
It's a short match.
Look, there's really not a lot to say here. Cena tees using the belt, goes for a low blow, 1, 2, 3, head to the pay window, and talk shit to Jay later.
Hmm.
Anything you wanted to add to this? Outside of R-Truth coming out as Ron Cena, he had the jorts, the shirt, all that. He did the five knuckle shuffle. He did the AA. He did all that. It just was what it was. It was an R-Truth special,
Hmm.
and showing that John Cena is going to do what he needs to do. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. What I think this did was just extend the touch of truth even further. Like if anyone was like on the fence, like yeah, he's kind of funny. I feel like this just put people over the edge. Our truth is a damn treasure. He is so much fun to watch. He puts everything into what he does, and yes, he's very much a comedy gimmick, but he's a record time 24/7 champion and never mentioned on WWE TV still former NWA world champion. So,
That's right. So let's
just like Adam
move
Pearce and
on
Nick
here.
Aldis and Cody Rhodes.
That's right. So we'll move on to the second longest match on the card at 11 minutes and 50 seconds. It's Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre.
Hmm.
There's controversy here. Controversy from Jesse Ventura.
Hmm.
He had a lot to say about the finish. Damian
What's he
Priest.
doing? Just walk it out.
Yeah, where'd the chairs come from?
I think they were brought in by Drew. No, by Priest because Drew came out first, right? Well, whoever came out second, I think, brought them in with them.
Okay.
'Cause I think there was it was a quick little brawl before the match
Yes,
got
there
started.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so basically, Damian Priest took Drew out the way he took out Edge.
Hmm.
It's a one man concerto, and he just leaves. Just leaves the cage.
Hmm.
I
I
get,
do. Go ahead.
yeah.
I was gonna say
I yeah,
I like the symbolism there of like, all right, you're down and out. I'm walking away from you.
right. Well, I get that,
Hmm.
but for a cage match, right? The whole point of the cage match is to keep people out and keep the people inside.
Hmm.
I don't. Drew McIntyre has no friends. You know what I mean? I didn't have to be a cage match if you were going to do it that way. Because the idea of the cage match is to escape. Or from in this one, it's you can win by pinfall, submission, or escaping.
Hmm.
It's like I think something's lost when it's like you could just leave through a door. I'm fine with it when I'm playing a video game because climbing the cage takes longer and it's harder to win the match.
Hmm.
But and I guess I get it. Some guys maybe they're not good at climbing. Maybe Damian Priest is not that good at climbing, but he's really tall. Like how much does he have to go? Is it
Hmm.
really that big of a deal? You can't just climb out the cage, but you're still running away. I don't know. It's not like Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell, that's different.
Yeah.
That keeps you inside.
Hmm.
You got to win until there's a winner. There's no
Yeah. You
escaping.
like even if you somehow get out, the match continues unless it's Seth Rollins versus the Fiend. Um. But I think I caught the intent. I think the intent of that match, what they wanted to get over was Priest is done with Drew. He laid him out. He walked away. He's literally walking away from this entire situation. He's walking out of the vortex. He's walking out of the vortex, standing tall.
I think it's because they wasted a last man standing on Finn Balor. And they can't have him blow off this feud with a last man standing, which I don't know why you can't. You could make it your thing.
Then could have done falls count anywhere.
Yeah. But, I mean, you're a street champion or whatever. You like to street fight or whatever.
Yeah, how many times did they brawl in the back? They could have done a parking lot brawl since he put Drew through the windshield.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in their defense, they want matches in the ring for people that paid money to go over there
Hmm.
for that lackluster Saturday night's main event. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, if you paid for it, if you paid for it, I think you might have gotten ripped off. But I don't know. Maybe you had a good time there. Maybe it's different when you're there. But 4 minutes is not a good match for me. That's not enough
Hmm.
from talking about John Cena.
Rabble do.
All
I mean,
right.
listen.
Yeah.
I mean, it works to his gimmick. He's paid by appearance.
Yeah. So, main event Jey Uso versus Logan Paul on Saturday night's main event.
Yup.
9 minutes,
Ye
45 seconds. The shenanigans came here. Referee pulled out by John Cena. Cody Rhodes comes back and helps Jey. Jey
and hmm
wins the match because there was no disqualification because the ref just came back to work.
Yep.
What do you think about it?
I mean, you called Cody's return at
You
Saturday
said when
night's
he
main
was
event.
coming out.
Yeah, yeah. You thought that he'd come out for Cena,
Which technically
which
he did, but later.
yeah. Um, because Cena was out there with Jey Uso, Logan Paul. Um, because we thought there was going to be a brutal beatdown of R-Truth after the
I was
match.
really hoping for that. I thought he was going to. Well, I guess it's evil enough to just give him a low blow.
Yeah. So as Cody decided to make his presence known in that match to set up a tag match, a tag team match between four singles guys at Money in the Bank, one of which is the world champion Jey Uso.
That's right.
Man, you gotta love a big return of a big former champ setting up a big tag. Oh, this is Jay. Actually, Jay versus Jay and Cena are both in it, right? Let me go forward here.
Yes, both
Look.
champions.
Okay, Night of Champions is after Money in the Bank, so that makes sense. But it's Cody and Jay versus Cena and Logan Paul. So both titles, both champions are involved in a match, and you gotta think the heels are gonna be in control here. So maybe whoever wins Money in the Bank is gonna cash in on Jay that night.
We'll see. Like that, you're jumping ahead,
I am.
but
I do that.
we're not even really done here. I don't think it stops. I don't think it's gonna be Logan Paul and John Cena versus Cody and Jay. I think it's going to be Logan Paul, John Cena, and Travis Scott versus Cody Rhodes and the Usos. I think you add Jimmy, probably.
That would be great. Get the Usos back together. Get the band back together, man.
Yeah, but you
Plus Cena.
still
Plus
you use the
Cody,
monkey's
rather.
paw. That means you're
Mm.
getting Travis Scott also.
Bean. Bean. Bean.
Yeah,
Bean.
but if you
Bean.
heard it here second probably, but all right. So I'm gonna do some math here for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the total in ring time. Okay, 44 minutes and 20 seconds of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you consider that the event ran for like it's a 2 hour show. So you figure maybe like 49% of your viewing is wrestling because you got
Mm.
commercials.
Yeah.
So typical commercial load is 18 to 22 minutes an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So you can leverage it to like 20 minutes an hour if you want to average. I mean, you'd be
Mm-hmm.
like 20. So for a 90-minute show, because that's 1.5 hours is 20 minutes, so you're going to get 30 minutes of commercials.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one thing to take into consideration here, though, like with these match times, most of these matches had commercials during the matches. So there's overlap in those times. We had like some of the entrances were a little long. I don't think there were a lot of backstage. There was one, maybe two
Yeah,
interviews.
not enough, I don't think.
There was the Cena Jay interaction. I don't think there was anything else, which is fine by me.
Well, you
Especially like it's
got
such a
the
short show.
how did we get here's
Yeah,
those
your hype
things.
videos. They're
Yeah.
not going to cut out the hype videos. And you know what? They shouldn't. Their hype videos are fantastic.
I don't think you needed that United States Championship match. And I get it, 5 minutes isn't a lot,
Hmm.
but if you think about the tightness of this, it might have been the better move, I
Could add a
think.
couple more minutes to Cena and Truth. Could add a couple minutes to Jay and Logan Paul. Which, by the way, of course, Jay and Logan Paul had all the extracurriculars going on
Yeah, it was
as
the
well.
end. You have to
Hmm.
set up tomorrow.
Hmm.
So this is what we're going to end up. So right now, this is your lineup for the men's Money in the Bank. It's just Solo and LA Knight for the men.
Yeah.
Okay. So tomorrow we're gonna have qualifiers. You're gonna
Hmm.
have Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor. I don't know how Seth Rollins doesn't win this match. This is a triple threat match. The only way I can see it is like if it's too much shit going on for Sammy and Seth, and Finn Balor somehow steals one.
Hmm.
But he'd have to pin one of those guys. I don't see like Seth has Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker to help him, and Paul Heyman.
Hmm.
And as far as I know, Judgment Day, they're all right. They're kind of on the way out. So looking at it, it was Solo and LA Knight, and then you throw in Finn Balor. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But let's let's just go to the next qualifier, which is Chad Gable versus Dragon Lee versus Penta. It's
Hmm.
strange here because it's like the style of that match would probably favor somebody like El Grande Americano, but he's not in the match, which is strange. I guess
Hmm.
they didn't want it just to be like, oh, they're just luchadors in there. We'll just throw Chad Gable and throw him a freaking bone for that WrestleMania match he didn't get.
Yep.
And then on Friday, Andrade, Carmelo, and of course, sorry, Jacob Fatu. So let's start with Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor, since we know what everything else is. Who do you think?
So Finn is the one. To me, Finn has storyline reason to get, like Seth does too, but I feel like
And
it's gonna
Sami
be one of
Zayn wants
those.
to be a world champion.
He does. It's not gonna be Sammy. I'm saying that. Um, perhaps,
Safe.
yeah, perhaps you're right about Seth and what they could do if Seth wins that match, then this could be sort of another wrinkle in the pending breakup of the Judgment Day or Finn's upcoming departure from Judgment Day.
Right.
Because when's the last time he win like Finn?
That triple threat match where, or I don't know if it was a triple threat match, but he pinned Penta because of interference, I think. Something. He did get a win though. It's one of those Mondays. I'm sorry
Oh,
if
is
I don't
that when
remember.
Grande Americano
Yeah.
interfered? Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right. So maybe Seth. Maybe Seth. Maybe
Probably
I.
Seth. If
Yeah.
not
Either
Seth, then
Seth or
Finn.
Finn.
Hmm.
All right. So Chad, Gable, Dragon Lee, or Penta here. It's tough. Because it's like either guy is not winning, I think.
It is like my default is to go Gable. Like he's got a crew that can help him.
So
The other two are
Penta or
faces.
Gable? I feel like Dragon Lee's there to, make the match good. Not that it won't be good, but to add to the pot. Plus, we get Chad Gable versus Penta again.
Yep.
All right.
Just fun the first couple times.
The harder one for me is Andrade versus Carmelo versus Jacob. Like, it should be Jacob. But I
But it
feel
could
like
be Hayes.
it could be Jacob. It could be Hayes. I feel like I don't know. I want Jacob to win, but I don't know if I see Solo and Jacob in the same Money in the Bank ladder match.
I said this last night. What if Solo wins the men's Money in the Bank?
Then he
And
has the
then
briefcase. Oh, cash in on Jacob?
what if like he gets so upset over Jacob leaving his family because he's going to that he's obsessed with him and he cashes in on Jacob.
Would be a waste of a Money in the Bank.
We've had that
But
before.
it is Solo, and
Hmm.
maybe that's more important to him. He wants to be the one.
Hmm.
That's why he keeps trying to steal his catchphrase, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
So that's a good prediction. Well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow when we watch live, and you guys can watch live with us.
right here, Basic Bookers Podcast on YouTube.
8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. All right, so we went into the men's just as confused as we were leaving it now. So
Yep.
now let's move on to the women. So here's who's qualified: Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Julia, and Rhea Ripley. So 3 tiny people and Rhea Ripley. By the way, Zelina Vega took that pin. The United States champion took the pin in the triple threat match. So maybe Julia should be in the conversation for the United States Championship as well.
Definitely.
So that's the lineup so far. And Friday, we're going to have Jade Cargill versus Naomi versus Nia Jax in a triple threat match to get their spot.
It's a big one.
I think Jade wins that. It would be great if it was Naomi. I think Naomi would fit better in that kind of match than Jade does. But I've been
I
wrong
agree.
before.
I agree. Naomi fits better, and as long as it's not Nia.
Yeah, like you throw Naomi in the mix, I feel like she should win. I don't know.
She
But
has a
yeah,
prominent character right now. There's a definite direction. Um, for her. She has this new attitude.
just proceed
Which
with
is
caution.
right. I'm not loving the repetition of the proceed with caution, but I like the meaning behind it. It's like, listen, stay out of my way. I won't snap on you.
Yeah, this lady's
So
crazy.
yeah. So I like it. If Naomi wins, like it's a really tough qualifier to call. Naomi versus Jade versus Nia. Still hope it's not Nia. I'd rather Jade than Nia, but I think I'd rather Naomi. Naomi makes a lot of sense. It makes so much sense. I say it every time. It makes so much more sense for a heel to have Money in the Bank than a face.
Yeah.
If
Uh,
Naomi
yeah.
if Naomi wins the qualifier, I think she wins the Money in the Bank.
Oh, even over Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
I think that's fair because I think Rhea Ripley it herself is a Money in the Bank contract anyway.
Mm,
You know, like she's not gonna be. If there's a title picture and she's not in it, she's like outside the door, just waiting
hmm
to come in, and
Yeah,
that's just the truth.
Rhea is over AF
Now I'm
right
looking
now.
here.
hmm
So Alexa Bliss is in here
hmm
because she knows how to work ladder match, Money in the Bank ladders match. She's
hmm
won before. She's been in it before. Roxanne Perez is in it because she's the new flavor. She's the new candy. So is Julia.
Julia brings that Japanese strong style.
Yeah, and they want to feature her, and it's like,
hmm
oh, what if she does? You know, and Roxanne Perez is what I was talking about. She's small, but she's a heel.
hmm
It makes sense. Julia's a heel, I think. Um, so
Seems
yeah,
to be.
Julia, Roxanne, maybe Naomi if she makes it in.
hmm
It's a lot going on there because I feel like because you look at Tiffany Stratton, who by the way called Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair old and not so many words that they were
Yep.
vintage,
hmm
and there's only one reason to say that.
hmm
So just like
That's right. I
they're,
mean, they're
hmm
NXT OG.
yeah. I don't know what to do with this, but you know it's gonna be fun to speculate on that. The Wyatt Six showed up at the end of SmackDown. I don't know why they needed to mess with uh, a tag team title match.
Maybe
What? And it was
Gacy and
Bray's
Loomis.
birthday on Friday,
Yeah,
or
Friday was Bray Wyatt's birthday. Maybe they wanted to um, insert Gacy and Loomis into the tag title picture. And
I
as a big return,
yeah.
Bo Howdy is finally cleared or whatever the case may be. And they're like, hey, remember us? We're back. And happy birthday, Bray.
Well, you know something. I am not as deep as you. I think they were just there because it was Bray's birthday, and it's like, hey, we're here. Remember us? We're here.
I want to believe it's more than just that.
We all want to believe Rich Torres.
Because I wanted to not have just been a throwaway moment and a throwaway match, which otherwise had Candice finally on main roster TV aligning with Johnny.
That's right. The way back.
Yep.
I don't know. So it was Bray Wyatt's birthday on Friday, but today is a more important birthday. Today, we all together acknowledge the tribal chief on his birthday, because today the tribal chief turns 40. I can't believe he's just 40. That's crazy. You know?
It's rare to see someone so wise, so dominant, so young.
I don't like that I know that I've been acknowledging someone that's younger than me. You know what I mean?
I do. I
Like
get it.
but, I guess if he was like a regular man, but he's not.
I'll put it
He's
to you
the
this way.
original tribal chief.
So similarly, I'm at my job for over 19 years now. We are
Yeah.
absolutely hiring people that were born after I started working there.
Do you know like the meme face? It's like the default guy, but like his eyes are all like black and he's just like sad. It's like
Yeah.
something terrible, some terrible news was given to him. That's what I feel like right now in my soul.
Need that brain bleach now.
Yeah. So you can literally say, "Listen here, Sonny. I've been working here longer than you've been alive.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even before you could wipe your own ass. I was out there, on the floor, over there somewhere else. You come over here to tell me how to do my job, whatever it is. Let me tell you something. You're not gonna. It's neither here nor there. Is that you? Is that what you're gonna? Is that what you're gonna do?
Yeah, pretty much. Since I'm the
All
only
right.
person that does my job, my boss is younger than me. He leaves me alone. He lets
Oh, you
me
should.
do my job the way I do it.
Yeah, that's right. So, Rich
Run my
Derez, I
shit.
think we've done it. We've climbed the mountain. We did Saturday night's main event. We didn't climb Mount Everest like Darby Allin.
Uh,
So,
The face
oh yeah,
of
enjoy
AEW.
Double or Nothing if you're watching. Have fun with that. Let us know. I hope. What was it? Is it Hangman doing something? I hope he wins what he's doing. I can't wait till MJF turns on, or somebody turns on MJF. I can't wait for Moxley to bleed somewhere. It's going to be great. I can't wait for Ospreay to have a 69.5 stars match and it'd be the best match of all time.
That's right,
It's going to
bruv.
be great. But yeah, I'm not a tribalist. I'm just saying, have fun. And, wrestling's good. AEW's good because then there's more places for people to work. And then you have things to compare things to. So,
Yeah, you can absolutely have your favorites wherever, whenever. Before we were on
enjoy
here,
Battleground.
Oh yeah,
You know,
NXT Battleground.
Yeah, there's that. And I hope Obafemi beats whoever. And I hope Stephanie beats whoever. And I hope Joe Hendry whoops that trick.
We got
that
some more good Stephanie gifts.
we might do
Gifts
that.
that keep on giving.
Don't worry, Booker T, he's gonna for you. When Stephanie does her thing. Don't worry
really
about it.
do
You're
that.
gonna get all of that. Right?
I could really do without Booker T.
He is pretty
that.
funny. He says he's doing it for her, to help her. Which is like, yeah, that's cool.
Cool.
Yep. All right, let's do
Awesome.
it.
So, like I said, enjoy all the shows you're going to watch this weekend. Let us know down below what you're going to be watching, what you're looking forward to. Who do you think? Give us your early predictions for Money in the Bank and the qualifiers that we talked about. All right. Like Jared said, we're looking to get to 100 and whatever. Let's try to get to 120. All right. Hit that subscribe button. I know more than half of you are not
103.
subscribed.
Yep.
103.
We'll try to get to that next milestone.
Let's make it 120. Let's push it.
Baby
Push
steps.
it. Baby steps. Doing this for 12 years, man. Listen. um, thanks so much for checking us out. Do us a solid, hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much. And as always, just got a party message.
The match of life is scheduled for one fall, so make it count.
Do what the man says.
Follow the bookers. You can be 103. You can imagine that? But the only thing that's better than that is 104. And even better than that, you can ascend to 105. But don't wait too long, because somebody could take that spot up to 20. So that's it. This is where I hit the end recording.